or make a comment is 901-327-2500. Give us a call. Today's topic: are our African American young men under attack by white police officers? Grab a line. Al, Kazi, Doc, and everyone else. 901-327-2500. Do we have a caller?
Hold on. Come on, Alan.
Let's go straight to the phone line.
Yeah, how you doing, Mr. Red?
Fantastic. How are you, young man?
Yeah, this is Alan, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Baltimore. Now, let me give you some knowledge, Mr. Red. And I know Brother Carlos is an educated brother, and I thought about something, too. You know, when Bill Clinton was the president.
Lost him.
Well, he said he was in Baltimore.
Yeah, he said he's in Baltimore.
So when you're traveling like that around the country, you've got to have one of those good phones, Lonnie. If you don't have one of those good phones, you got to find your telephone pole and get near your a telephone pole so that electricity can flow through. Hey, Alan, give us a call back. 901-327-2500.
That's Alan.
Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, you know, Mr. Red, yeah, you know, I can see why Brother Carlos is an educated brother.
Okay.
Now, you know, in the 1990s, I said that Congress proposed a bill and called it the Omnibus Crime Bill.
Yeah.
It passed because Bill Clinton signed it. They created like a prison system for African American people.
Yes.
And we can see the difference between black Democrats and white Democrats. That President Obama, you know, every man should have a job bill. And they didn't even pass a bill. We are strangers within our own land, in this strange land. Our government's against us. And that's what I'm saying. If they don't give a man a job, and they'll say, well, we'll pass a bill or a law, put you in jail, that means your government is not using your tax dollar wise. So that's why a lot of African Americans don't trust the government. And this was said, even President Obama, because he's African American, said, if you talk about getting rid of crime and trying to get people, you know, off welfare because they wanted to do away with welfare, these Republicans, these evil white people, they don't even want to give a man a job. So I can see why we have so much stress and so much heartache, and they don't even want to give us health insurance. So we are like strangers in a strange land.
Yeah.
You got it?
Hey, I got you. What about you all, pal? Y'all got it?
Got you.
So he said some things, some important words he used there.
Are you there? So if they don't give the government's supposed to be about rules and regulations, bills, laws. We supposed to kind of like, we can't agree with everything. But if your government is against you, they pass a crime bill. And I said, well, we have criminals in our communities, but they won't even pass a job bill. You know, those obstructionists Republicans, and they blame us for being in the shape we in.
Okay.
Brother Salud said that we are strangers within our own government.
Okay, thanks for your call, Alan.
All right, thank you.
He said some important things that we're going to discuss in just a minute. But I want to shoot a shout out to Dave and Shane. Because when I'm talking about on this panel, we appreciate the both of them. And when a discussion is about white people, we're not talking about Dave and Shane. And let me say something about Sergeant Kelly and Sergeant Taylor. When I'm talking about police officers, I'm not talking about you two.
That's right.
I want to be specifically clear. Grab a line. Call me and say, Brother Red, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's set it on fire today. Let me repeat the question. The topic, Jeffrey. What's the topic, Jeffrey? Help me out here. I'm an old man. You're much younger than I am. Your lungs and voice are stronger than mine. No, I've got a strong ass voice though.
Absolutely. We'll go back over that question today. Today's topic is going to be centered around the question of whether young African American or black males are under attack by white police officers. Did I get that question?
That's very
right?
good.
All right.
You got it right. Now, there's an article, 2 articles. A couple of weeks ago, a young African American man was shot and gunned down in Raleigh, right here in Memphis. And there were 3 officers on the scene. 2 African American and 1 so-called white officer. He pulled his gun, shot him, and killed him, the black man. Alexio, I think his last name may have been Harris. I've got the article. I may have to go out to my car and get it. I had it here somewhere. I don't know where it is now. But anyway, the African Americans didn't shoot. I raised the question, why did the African Americans not shoot their gun? The white police officer, 3 years ago, according to this article, commercial appeal, call me and tell me that I'm just speaking from my opinion. Call me and tell me that I'm not doing any reading. I'll just come up here and make up stuff. That 3 years ago, the same officer killed another young black man, Lonnie, in Chicago. The police, first of all, the people got rid of Anita Alvarez. The people got rid of the white police chief in Chicago. But they still have problems. The police is being charged with racism in Chicago. Got these 2 articles right here. Omar. You have any disclaimers, advertisements, comment, question, any parts of the equation? Please do so.
Yes, I thank you for listening in today. We really appreciate you tuning in to 1600 AM for the Love Power Show. We would like to say immediately that the views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily the views and opinions of this radio station, nor of any of our advertisers. And with that being said, we also want you to know that the radio show is really geared for our children. There are many of us that have been in the struggle, and some of us are tired. And if you're one of those people, then I understand. Go and get your children, because they're not tired. They are ready to do something. They don't know what to do, but if they listen to the show, then we can organize them. We can revolutionize them so they can go ahead and continue the struggle of liberation. So with that being said, yes, we go back to what Brother Wallace was saying. The police have become a military force in this nation. And if you look at America, they have militarized most of the major police departments in this country, but not just the major ones, even some of the smaller ones. Some of the smaller cities have gotten free military tanks and military armament from the military by way of a grant. All they have to do is pay for the shipping. They pay nothing for the machinery. And now you see them in small towns rolling down the street with tanks, rolling down the street with armored vehicles. And that mentality comes with the equipment. And that's why you see so many of our children, and not just our children, but their children, also being shot down in the street. We happen to get shot down almost 3 to 1 compared to their children. But you see it because of the mentality, the change in that mentality in this American complex.
All right, thank you, Brother Omar Baruti, everybody. Jeffrey, I want to go to you next. A young African American man under attack by white police officers. And can I add something to it?
Go ahead, Brother Wallace.
This bothers me.
What bothers you, Brother Wallace?
Uh-oh. I know where you're going.
there's something wrong with black people. We accept this. We, in my estimation, I saw something yesterday. We have allowed this to become normal. We don't get upset about it. Go ahead, Brother Jeffrey.
Just to simply answer your question to start off, I'm just going to reiterate it. If I get it specific, try to get it specifically right. Are young black men under attack by white cops?
Yes.
And to that question, I would have to say emphatically, yes. The history of the cops can help to shed light on the situation, the very foundation of why the different police departments were formed were mainly to control and to protect property. Now, whose property are they protecting and what property are we talking about? Well, if you go back to, I believe that is the first regular police precinct that we have goes back to, I want to say Baltimore, Maryland. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but it was to help old slave masters to retrieve their lost property. Now, who was that lost property? I would say that was our ancestors when they were committed to slavery, to chattel slavery, to the idea that they were property of their slave masters. But you see, over the years, we tend to forget the history of it. But the reality of the situation is that the majority of the people that are in jail are African American males, while we're the minority of the population here in the United States. So I would say definitely whether the cops actually consciously realize that they're attacking African American males all over this country, or whether they do not consciously realize it, they're just a part of the plan. And yes, we are up under attack because they're helping to protect now and enforce laws and values of racism, white supremacy all over the country. And you can now look at it on the internet. You can look at it on the TV. Every day, almost, it seems like we see another video or another video on the internet of another black male getting shot. But, I think times are changing, Brother Wallace.
All right.
Because, or maybe this is an isolated incident, but earlier this week, I want to say on Tuesday, there was an incident in Nashville, Tennessee, where a white cop went to the projects. I can't remember what projects it was. I want to say it was on 4th Avenue in Nashville, Tennessee. And there's a lot of footage out there on YouTube. You can probably Google it or put in a YouTube search, but you will actually see where the footage that I saw, it was a young brother that was actually fighting the police officer back.
He was fighting back.
He was fighting back.
Defending himself.
He was defending himself or whoever he was defending.
Right.
And not only that, the crowd that was around, which was the majority of African Americans, they were assisting to pull the officer off of the man that he jumped on.
Okay.
The next day, I think it was Wednesday, there was a lady who wrote a letter, pretty much condemning all the African Americans who participated in pulling the officer off the young man, just saying it's something wrong with black people. We have no respect for authority. Well, it seems like later the truth of the story was this young man was fighting for a young lady who had got assaulted by that officer earlier. So I find it very troubling myself that we always want to point the blame on them, the white officers or the white supremacy structure first before we even have our facts together. Mm-hmm. So in the event that man was defending that young person,
I think
we
you
want
mean,
to say big ups to him.
You mean in reverse. Our people tend to come to the defense of the officers,
correct,
as opposed to our own people.
Right.
So when I say something wrong with black people, I mean we stand around. I applaud them. We stand around and let people attack our own people. Allow this to go down. We've got a caller on the line, and we're looking for Dr. Umar Johnson. Who's on the line, Isaac?
Chet Kibble.
Chet Kibble. Chet Kibble, everybody.
Go ahead, Chet.
Hey, good morning. How you doing today?
Fantastic.
Alright, that's good. Well, I got some good things to report. EPA is going to be here on the 28th. We're going to have two meetings. We're going to have a meeting that morning with light, gas, and water. We're going to be using what we call step 2 of appreciative inquiry in a step to get light, gas, and water to do what's right. To help with still, our goal is to create jobs, to do some things about correcting the problems that we have with lead exposure, both in the community as well as our concern about our lead water line. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that there are some programs that our community needs to take advantage of. There's a city-led program, so if you own your own house, and it was built before 1978, but that's the county, Shelby County has a lead program that's free. You call down, give them a call, and their number is 222-7600. You can get house signed up for that program. It won't cost you anything. The city has a program for people who are renting property. So if you have a home and you're renting or you're renting from somebody, tell them about the city's program so that they can get their home put on that program. The city just received $3.8 million for the abatement of homes. And they'll come in and do vinyl siding and windows and things to that effect. But what's really important is that on the 28th, we're going to have a people's meeting. And we're going to determine the location. I would like to say it's going to be in Lamorne College. We haven't got permission yet. But we are going to have that meeting that evening, and it's going to be important that the community come out so we can share with EPA our concerns and our need to have some attention put into our city. We need to have some extra training. We need some things for the people that have already been lead exposure. We need more testing. There's a lot of things that happened in the past. We know people have body burdens. The awareness training, we're hoping that our city receives that grant. So there is still a lot of things wrong in Memphis, but right now we're on the cusp of being a city that's going to be able to demonstrate to other cities how you can handle this problem and how you can create some jobs.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Chet. And a couple questions before you go. And we're still on target with the collaboration with your group and the Love Power group. Is that right?
Yeah, true.
And we're also talking about educating City Council sometime soon, by which we will work from a team perspective. Is that right?
Well, that's very true. We're meeting this afternoon. We got a meeting this afternoon with the head of the collaborator, and I'll give you a call later on this evening and give you an update. But we're getting ready to send some stuff out to the mayor as well as the city council. You know, we already met with the Shelby County mayor. We've met with the health department. We've met with TDAC. And we've met with EPA on several occasions.
All right.
The only person who hadn't come to the table has been the city mayor, and we're about to put a date that because we're going to move forward. So, yes, sir, I will give you a call this evening and update you on that.
All right, one last thing before you go. We're also talking about creating jobs for black people as well.
Correct.
And making things better in our communities, right?
That's a definite.
And we're still on target to work with Brother Omar Baruti and his prison ministry. Is that right?
But that's one of the key components of our work plan. And then we have a plan to put people to work. We also have a plan to help people who need to have a job in order to get out or need to do community service, and as well as a way that people can learn and get into a trade.
Okay.
We also tied into the EPA grant that will allow us to take people and get points for the people that come out of the prison, that we help get into the program, and also there's some specific programs that are designed for that, and that's what we're working for. One of our real goals is to set up a company where a number of the people will be able to earn ownership of that company.
Okay.
And that's a abatement company where we can do abatements on water lines for the people at the residential housing or people that need their water lines changed. So there's a number of things that we're trying to put together, and we're going to be working with you and Brother Baruti real soon.
All right, thanks for your call, Chet, and that update.
All right.
All right, thank you. And this is what we must do as men, Lonnie. This is what men do. We come together and we take care of our communities and our families. Is that right? Now, Alan said something about government. Government has a role. Lift it up and place it down. There you go. I just learned something. We might need to get some small cushions to help out with that too. There you go. He said something about government. He also said something about they, and he said something about they giving us something. He made some good points, but the one thing that we want to do as we examine these issues, because that's what we do here, is to put it in right perspective, right role and right responsibility in terms of what is our role and responsibility, while we tie this into what we must do as men about our young men being killed. I know that's a loaded question.
So
Handle it.
let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
If you can recall the history from 1865 until 1965, that's 100 years, right?
Yes.
Name one thing or one incident where we can see where police officers showed any compassion towards black men specifically. And I don't see it.
Okay.
Okay, so, but in between 1965 until 2016, we don't see any difference. We still see us being slaughtered. And to me, as a black male, what that does, it invokes fear. It invokes fear into the younger generation, younger black males, and also for the black mothers, because, their role and how they feel towards their sons, it puts fear into her, so she wants to, cover him and keep him from what needs to, for him to develop as a man. But another thing that Alan mentioned was the incarceration rate, and I was trying to do some little research and study. I want to read quickly this post by, it was from the Huffington Post by Antonio Moore, and the article was "The Black Male Incarceration Problem is Real and is Catastrophic," right? So in the article he said, "There are more African American men incarcerated in the U.S. than the total populations in India, Argentina, Canada, Lebanon, Japan, Germany, Finland, Israel, and England combined." Now, if that don't blow your mind, I don't know what will, right? And the numbers don't lie. So if our population, black males and black adult males in the United States, we supposed to total up to like 19 million in the United States, right? But the United States has the highest incarceration in all other nations combined, right? So the incarceration is to say 2.3 million. Out of the 2.3 million, black males is supposed to be accounted for 37%. To me, just looking on numbers, that's obviously that we're targeted, that we're being hunted. So, real question, what we gonna do about it? That's the real question. That's what I want to vote.
Thank you for passing the ball to me, but I want to pass it quickly to Tyloo.
Cool.
African American men, Tyloo.
Yes. Well, for years, maybe decades, I've been pointing out these things about the incarceration rate, what is actually happening, okay? And none of it is new. None of it. Police shootings, none of it is new. But what has happened because of the internet, we have access to more information more quickly. Okay, so, but police have been killing black men for a very long time. Okay, it goes way back. Newspaper media and other media have historically covered it up, silenced it. And again, most of these police officers who have murdered or killed someone, and they are in very few cases chastised or disciplined one way or another, just move to another police department. Okay, and what we need to really understand, the police operation has always been militaristic. It has never been anything else.
In fact, it's a straight out extension of rebel Civil War veterans who worked diligently and extensively to hold down the black male's role in this country and in this world. Okay, so the problem is persistent. It's not changing. But what we have to do as black males and men is to address the problem with our bodies, and our treasure. We have to come forward, not only with the police department, but in our own community. And we're not doing it. So the world see us as no more than the white man's woman. Because we act like we don't respond appropriately to things. Give an example, just locally here, if you have 60 homicides in 90 days, and they all black on black, so to speak. Black boys killing black boys. Actually, that's lynching. See, we got to get it straight. This is modern day black people lynching black people. Look up the word lynch. It doesn't mean put a noose around somebody's neck and hang them up. That's not the meaning of lynching. Lynching is just simply a group of people get together and execute administrative killing on somebody. That's a lynching. Okay, and when we see ourselves being lynched, modern day lynchings, we don't respond at all. We just let's go shopping at the mall.
Okay. All right, thank you, Tyloo. But we're going to keep it on, we can use this mic right here. We're going to keep it on police killing young black men. That issue is another issue for another day. In fact, I'm going to announce a solution right now. And I mentioned it to you, Jeffrey and Lonnie, that I found the location for the Youth Leadership Conference. Now, the 2 days they have available is the 16th of June and the 19th, of which we will choose our youth leadership, set up a workshop, and at the same time, there's a 10-point plan for community control. But today, we're talking about police killing our young men. And I want to go to you now, Brother Tatum. Looks like we have a caller on the line. But the other thing we're going to do is assemble a team of lawyers to help us fight this fight. Let him, since he's jumping through the line, let him come on through.
Go ahead, Brother Kazi.
Brother Kazi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
The answer, as I see it, to targeting African American males is obvious. There's no question about it. One of the things that I hope that we can discuss briefly is this is more than a continuation of the past. This is an epidemic prevalent that we have never seen before. One of the reasons that I have asked and invited the various brothers and sisters to attend, to come on a little tour with me. I wanted to show you what I see every day in, quote, these stores, grocery stores, and it is an epidemic. And not just from the point of view of police killing, it is killing our youth, male and female, from the point of view of those who have been incarcerated, but now are returning, and we look to see what traumatic experiences they have had, and they're going to require a lot of help. Obesity, of course, is one of the biggest problems that we have at this time. Everyone is wearing a 4 and 5X t-shirt. That's all you see sold in the grocery stores. But aside from that point, I just want to say that this is also the greatest generation that we ever had. This is the new generation that we've been waiting for. This is
they are the beneficiaries of high tech, and now they have some new weapons to work with.
Okay.
And that means that it is a responsibility for people in the age before the movement to take cover for their backs as they step out in the sunlight of leadership. It is important. Dr. Francis Wilson and I.
Take 30 seconds and wrap it up, Kazi. 30 seconds and wrap it up, brother.
So, and she was the person who talked about killing and white, the context of white self-preservation as a minority on the planet. And of course, this is an election year, and Donald Trump is not playing. He's talking about what he thinks should happen. And if you listen to what Bernie Sanders is talking, I lived in Brooklyn for a year, and if you look at the
30 seconds
of this election this year, it all speaks toward the issue of each candidate talking about the subject matter that you just brought up, not only questioning or black youth, target in particular black males.
Okay, bro, Kazi, 10 seconds to wrap it up. Wrap it up.
To the candidates, and this would be what I would think is the thing for us to do right now. It is a fact. This is an epidemic. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Brother Kazi. Now, Kazi said that at the end he did say something critical, but he highlighted a couple of points that Talib made about how far it goes back, the murdering of our people, and the behavior that comes from men, supposed men, in that whole sphere of femininity, and something that we should all reject. So we're still talking about the topic, Jeffrey. So can you address it, Brother Tatum, in terms of a couple points that, take my mic, points that Talib made, and then Brother Kazi made. He said,
Yeah.
Is this Brother Dr. Umar Johnson?
No, this Bianchi from St. Louis.
Brother Bianchi. Did you want to take Bianchi first, Tatum, or you want to go? Come on, Bianchi.
Bianchi?
Andy, how you doing today?
Fantastic. How are you?
Make sure I get your email address. I'm going to email you the things that they've done to stop some of that mess here around the Ferguson area.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you something. If you let your employees run buck wild in your community, then what do you expect? Police are employees. Here in the St. Louis area around Ferguson, many of these municipalities dissolved their police department because it was heavily white and white chiefs that just wouldn't do right, and they formed what's called a North County cooperative. And I was listening to one of the chiefs on radio this morning, and they hired at least 3 or 4 young black males who graduated from the local high school. Well, that's a very big step forward. And also, they implement a thorough background check before they hire anybody. If you have any questionable incidents in your past, questionable shooting, where the grand jury didn't indict you, but the community said you was guilty, they don't hire you. So
Okay.
I'm begging these people to do right and make them do right the way you want them to.
All right.
And if you give me your email address, I'll email you some of the things that they've done around here.
Okay.
You know what everything they talk about?
Yes.
Police officers carry their own liability insurance. Because if they go out and do something egregious, then the city has got to bump up those millions of dollars in settlement.
Okay. All right. W. Red
Yeah.
at Memphis.
You
.ed.
very well. Give it to the guy who answered the phone, and I'll call him right back.
Okay.
Write it down.
Okay, just call at the end of the show. We got you.
Okay.
Well, you call. Go ahead. Here. Write this down right quick, Isaac. Anyway, Tatum. I'm gonna have to multitask. W-Red at Memphis.edu, Isaac.
Okay, he hung up.
Okay.
All right.
You said you're gonna call right back.
Right.
Tatum.
Yes.
He said make these people do right. So that's a political solution, a solution that deals with organizing. So what are your thoughts, Brother Tatum, in reference to the problem? First of all, is it true?
Yes, it's true.
All right, it is true. Okay.
No doubt about it.
Okay.
And for myself, it might sound loony to some people, but I kind of blame Brother Omar for this putting this in my head, the truth about that pale horse. When I've been looking and studying, I talked on Dr. Richmond broadcast today, explaining now the rest of the horses, right? And then when we talk about this stuff that's been constantly going on, and it's true, but the brother says it's a growing epidemic, and that's what I see. And the reason I see it is because, take Rodney King for instance. Just a small portion of when some of these officers did something, there would become some slight punishment or whatever, right? Like you said, whatever. But now nothing is being done. I believe in my heart when it talks about that pale horse, death is the rider. I've never seen in these many cases, even though I know the internet has a lot to do with it wasn't being broadcast on the news or whatever, right? But every time we turn around, a white officer is killing a young black man. I believe in my heart they paid to do this and been made promises for not to be executed. It sounds loony, don't it? I know it may sound a little bit loony. But in order to be able to
go that far,
everything else that's designed, the incarceration and whatever else, right? If you can keep us stirred up and keep all the other people doing what they're doing, protesting, etc., right? We don't see the other moves that they're making, like with Donald Trump. Am I making sense to you? So, and then on top of this, another thing, some of these white officers are not paid. Some of them know that their time is just about up. And death is on them. So they attacked us because they know who we are. That's why they burn crosses in our yard. They know their time is almost up. So yes, they doing this on purpose.
You have any evidence or facts to back this up? Who's they? Are you talking about they the government or they the police?
The government is Rothschild, and far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Them. These are puppies that work for the office. I mean, when you think about it, look at this lately. Just lately within the last, year or something? Every time we turn around, a white officer is killing a black. And I know we say, it's been going on. But it seems like to me it's a great bigger epidemic.
Okay.
Because it's on purpose.
I think you may have a point. You may have a point with the Kazakhstan epidemic. We've got to call it. With the epidemic, you just said a larger epidemic. And could that epidemic, Omar, possibly be, we're going to take this call, a mental epidemic that we must address as men, like Talu said, in terms of education while we organize. Let's go to the phone lines.
Go ahead, call you on there.
And then you, Omar.
Go ahead, caller.
Look, we don't have much time. Let's roll. What's in there?
Go ahead, call you on the air.
Hey, Don.
Lost. Go ahead. He'll call back.
He'll call back.
Yeah.
Omar, this problem is scientific, if you ask me. What I mean by scientific, that we've had this discussion on this show on many occasions, going back to the early 1700s. Is that right?
Going back 6,000 years.
6,000 years. Here. We have a caller?
Yes. Go ahead, call you on there.
Come on. Then we'll come back to you.
What's the subject about today?
Who's calling?
Who we have on the line?
Austin Brook.
Hey, Austin Brook.
What's up, Wally?
Our young African American men under attack by white police officers.
Oh, well.
Take 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Well, that attack there has been going on for centuries up to just about, I guess, might say. But I think that's a lot to do with we need to build bridges.
What kind of bridges, Doc?
Well, with the youth, let them out their rights. A lot of youth don't know their rights. And then
Okay.
A lot
don't know the protocol, so we need to learn in the protocol.
What is protocol, Doc?
You know how you supposed to respect the law, and how when the law, when the law is misplaced, they're doing the wrong thing, how to conduct yourself.
Okay. All right, thank you for your call, Doc.
It's fear on both sides. It's fear on both sides.
Okay. Fear on both sides.
Both sides. So we need to learn protocol. You know, that might stop some of this killing.
Okay, I think part of what you're saying, the youth, we're still back to groundwork and educating our young people. Some real work has to be done.
I think the miseducation was causing a lot of this stuff.
Miseducation.
On both sides.
All right. Hey, Doc, thank you for your call.
All right.
Go ahead, Omar. Listen, we've got 17 minutes. We've got to move with quickness.
You know, the biggest problem we have today is the people who are in charge of the planet are afraid of those who will soon be in charge.
Hey, come on here, talk to me.
And
Doc.
they have been in charge of the planet around 6,000 years.
Yes, sir.
If you listen to Brother Putin, well, not my brother, their brother, of Russia, he says that white people have been here around 6,000 years. That's what he says. And if you look at the Bible and those Christian scholars, if you go from the time Adam was made up until the current time, the Bible shows around 6,000 years of history. And if you look at what we teach, is that the white man has been here about 6,000 years. But since he got here, he's always been afraid of being taken out by the black man. And right now, he controls the planet. And he does everything he can to get rid of those that might take him out. Because black is dominant. Right now, you got AIDS, which is an invented virus. You got Ebola, which is an invented virus. You got not just the diseases, but you also got AfroCom, a system that controls all of Africa from the internet, from satellites. And you got our people, even going back before AIDS and Ebola. The Tuskegee experiment, where they gave us syphilis just to see how soon would it take us out. Ebola came along because it would take us out quicker. AIDS was a long-term disease. Ebola was a short-term. But anything that'll take us out without raising the eyebrows of other folk in other countries that might cause you to go and overthrow the white regimes everywhere you find. That system is in place right now, and our people are asleep for the most part. I would say only about 5%. The 5% are the ones who are awake, and the other 95% are asleep and don't want to wake up.
Okay, Jeffrey, we have. It's 2:44. So let's make our point as quick as we can so we can get everybody else in one more time. Now, African Americans have been here a long time. And African Americans still persist today in spite of what Omar just pointed out. So, someone pointed out fear on both sides. And someone pointed out, well, I recognize the hatred. And that coming from Africa, apparently there was no end game. Once racism and white supremacy did not wipe the black man out, it appeared that there would be a movement afoot to get rid of the black man, and that the police, white supremacists, killer cops are the epitome or the vestige that will carry out these acts quickly. You have some points there. You have some notes. Thoughts.
I kind of agree with Brother Omar and Brother Kilber. I think that was earlier who said that this problem that we're facing. I think what's going on with these police officers is just these white people right now. They're in the stage of panic. And the panic have to do with, like it's been mentioned, fear. And fear of what? Well, they have an internal fear based upon something that is actually real. And the real is that we are dominant, and they can't get rid of us. We don't die, we multiply. So they have all these different ways to try to take care of us or put us up under the dirt, but we keep coming back. And so right now, not only that, brother Neely Fuller Jr., who I think Dr. Francis Cress Wilson studied and
That was someone that Brother Kaiser pointed out.
Right.
Dr. Neely Fuller. Well, he pointed out Francis Cress Wilson, but they worked together.
Right. Neely Fuller Jr. says that that this is what we're going to notice. He predicted that we're going to see all these killings of black men. Not only black men, but they're also going to take out people of other ethnicities, also their own ethnicities, to try to hide the truth that they're trying to take us out, to try to make it seem that it's not racism.
Right.
But it is racism. It's that deep underlying fear that they will be eradicated, not because we hate them or that we violently overthrow them. It's because our very genetics will overthrow them.
I understand. Now I hear your educational background in sociology coming through. Real quick, you're saying the general population of people who call themselves white are in a state of panic. And your assessment comes from your work in part by which you looked at by Dr. Neely Fuller. A solution. A team of lawyers, education, and groundwork. Do you have one more point to make? Then Lonnie, Tyler, back around this way.
I forgot my point, but since you said lawyers, that kind of made me remember it. So Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. says the only way that we're going to come out of this system of racism, white supremacy, because he defines racism, white supremacy as an idea. He says the only way that we're going to come out on top on that and turn the table is we have to come up with an idea that's stronger than racism and white supremacy. In his opinion, that idea is an idea of justice.
All right. We've got 10 minutes.
Justice, y'all. Justice.
We've got 10 minutes, Lonnie.
And you know,
Can you do it in 2 minutes? Help us out.
quicker than that,
Cooperative conversation.
just want to say that, you know, if it wasn't for some of the officers that spoke out against the internal affairs that goes on within a department, you know, some of the facts would just be talking, speculation, you know. But I had seen the case of 2015, and NYPD officer was on trial. He was accused of being a racist. And one of the officers, his name is Pedro Serrano, he recorded the officer telling him to go and stop and frisk in a certain area and to specifically frisk black males between the age of 14 and 21, stating that they were most likely going to commit a crime. So if the guy didn't record the conversation between his commander, you know, they try to call him a rat and all that, but if he didn't speak out, you know how many cases it would, you know, unreported or it will continue. So, hell yeah, we still under attack. That's all I want to say. Yeah.
You mentioned that, and in this research I have here, which we didn't get to today, we'll get to it next week. Talu, it says that some white males are being killed as well by white police officers. Not as many, but some. And that is a comparison that we have when we hear and see and find out about white people working against their own interests. Some white people. Come on, Tyler.
Which is nothing new. They've been killing them all along, too.
Come on, speak on it.
Okay, see. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm the only person, probably in the United States of America, who has consistently stated that white officers should not patrol black neighborhoods. Nobody else comes to that conclusion in the black community. Now, either I'm insane or the black community is insane. Okay, but my position is strictly this, that we have the authority and the power to determine who's going to police us. We think the white man has the power and authority to determine who's going to police us. Someone brought up the fact that the people hire the police officers. If we silence our voices and weren't such cowards, you know, we could change the dynamic of policing in our community. But we won't do that because we believe in race neutrality. We believe that we should be, the white man and the black man should be equal. And we should work together in killing black people. But we shouldn't. We should be against that. And we should do what any civilized nation of people would do. If anybody black or any group of black police officers were out in the white community shooting down white people, I guarantee you the issue would be get them out of our neighborhood. I promise you, no question about it, no doubt about it. But we don't think like that. As Wallace said initially, it's something wrong with us. We don't respond appropriate to things. We believe simply that if they say so, we have to obey. Obey. And that's simple. That's simply that.
Okay. You said something, he can use this one. Talud, you said something, and you have said that on this show on more than one occasion.
Yes.
So let me correct something. We have agreed with you that white police officers
Yes,
should not patrol the African American community. It should be African Americans. Now the solution to that problem, Talud, is always organization, but it's also legislation.
Yes.
And we should be, all options should be on the table,
That's
if
right.
you ask me.
That's
Legislation, whomever, city council. We're still having the same conversation. Now, power. Tatum. Now, you don't have the power until you exercise it.
That's right.
Until someone feels your power. Tatum.
Well, I believe the greatest power that we have is truth. Again, maybe sound a little insane or something, but a long time ago.
No, you're not sounding the same
A
now.
long time ago.
Some of the other stuff might have been
It
sounding,
is,
that's not.
that's okay. But
Go ahead.
a long time ago, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, now I'm gonna really sound insane too.
Don't do it.
He talked about the spaceship.
Spaceship.
Minister Louis Farrakhan talked about the spaceship.
Yes.
Talk
And
about
these
it, bro.
ain't gonna
Talk
be no
about it.
aliens coming down.
Okay.
They're gonna be our people on these ships, right? So again, going back to agreeing with what you said, and you said, well, really all of you, right? There's a fear, and they know we dominant. But not only that, they know that this great power that Allah got is gonna put their butt into captivity, and so on and so on. So this is why they angry. They coming at us more and more and more because they are the riders on the pale horse. They deaf. And they said we just as well do everything to these Negroes that we can because our time is just about up. Thank you for letting me sound a little insane.
That's okay. That's okay. But now, this is what we do on the Love Power Show.
Yes, sir.
We discuss everything from the sublime to the ridiculous. And if it's sublime, we make it clear.
That's right.
If it's ridiculous, we will make it make sense right here on the Love Power Show. And look, we're up against the clock, you all. But real quick, Chicago, USA Today. Chicago police face racism charge. USA Today. Commercial appeal. You know Connor Schilling, retired, was he saying something about he was insane or something? He was saying something on my...
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, he was saying something like that with some kind of large sums of money. So that's another thing we have to look at going forward. Omar, this question of money.
1138 twice a month.
Right. Right.
After he killed somebody.
Right.
And the TBI said he should be indicted
Okay.
for manslaughter against Darius Stewart. And Amy Wyra got ready to bring it to the grand jury for indictment, and then they let him go. And now he's off. He got a retirement, and they can't do no indictment.
Mhm.
They can't even do any more investigation of the case. And the man was shot in the back twice.
Yep.
That's the TBI.
Yes. And then Omar, you said when he got stopped, he wasn't driving.
No, he wasn't driving. He's in the backseat of the car with ID.
And what about this scuffle they had, Omar?
Let's look at this case though. You got a young man who has committed no crime, and what they say he committed, the police officer never called into the station to find out if he had any outstanding warrant. It never happened. That charge of having had a sexual violation, that particular charge happened when he was 13 years old, and they didn't even put the charge on paper until at 4 days after the young man was murdered.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the scuffle, I hear the young man was younger, perhaps stronger, faster, and doing his workout, and he got killed because of his.
I think 110 pounds, maybe,
Yeah.
versus 200 and some pounds,
Yeah.
for sure.
Darius Stewart was
110
110
pounds.
pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, but some of these guys are 110. He could have been all muscle, fast, swift. And they could have been. Now look, Mississippi and Walker many years ago, during the time of Ida B. Wells, Omar, everyone, Clyde Moss fought back and his two partners. Is that right? The People's Grocery Store. They fought back. In the video, you see two brothers stopped by two white police officers. There was no reason to stop them. So a scuffle broke out. And if you saw that video, the young brothers were putting down some skills, some real footwork, some handwork. It was awesome. So, Jeffrey, you pointed out something. In Texas, we saw a couple of young brothers building up nerves and courage. Kalu said, with our bodies. Let me add to that. Our bodies, minds, and soul. Let's get mad about it. And so there have been black men who have fought back. But we're not just fighting police officers. We're fighting media, Talu. We're fighting images. We're fighting indoctrination. Is that right, Talu? So we're talking about addressing all of these issues. How much time do we have?
I'm fighting Rothschild.
Rothschild. Look, we've got 2 minutes. Let's move with the quickness. Final thoughts. Final thought. Jeffrey.
You just started it off, Brother Wallace.
Final.
You just started it off. I don't know,
Go ahead.
It's on every front. It's not just law enforcement. It's the government. It's the way that we practice economics, because they taught us the way of capitalism. It's not only that, it's our education system. We're under attack up under all of these different fields of human behavior. And we, as black men, have got to stand stronger and address the problem without being apologetic and feeling like, hey, we shouldn't say that, that's taboo. No, we got problems to solve. It's time for us to be real.
Lonnie, real quick.
I just want to address the misconception about our black women and our black males. In 2014, when they did the study on the incarceration rate, did you know out of the 2.3 million Americans that were incarcerated, out of the women, 49% were white women.
Okay.
They don't show that in the media, right? So just want to throw that idea out
yes,
there.
Yes.
Just,
so, what Talu said it. It's not new.
It's not.
But
new.
Much of this is not covered in the media.
It's not covered.
So, at some point in organizing, we've got to see get this humanity to see. We've got on the world stage to see that you must vote, work, and act in your own interest. I got excited. Come on, Talu.
Yeah, we're going to have to create a coalition organization so that everybody who's organized into smaller groups, we can just get together in a coalition effort and execute the will of black men and women in our community, politically, socially, academic, and otherwise.
Okay. Thank you, Talu. Brother Tatum.
Well,
last word, final thought real quick.
My final thought real quick to let you devils know you're about to fall.
All right. All right, thanks for coming, everybody. We'll continue this series next week. We've got much more to cover. And we're going to have to, as black men, stand up and be seen and be recognized and be respected. Respected. Power. We have to let them know, the enemy, the opposing force, we have power, but you execute power, and someone has to feel the sting of your power.
That's right.
All right, thank you. Love power.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this before we get ready to go to our 3 o'clock program. You've been listening to the Love Power Show right here on AM1600 WMQM. And I want to say this to all of you that's using social media for the wrong thing. For those of you that are posting fights, abusing people on Facebook and think the law is not going to find you, you are sadly mistaken. Stop doing that, please. Especially about the incident that happened with the young lady in West Memphis. Baby was on the bed. She went up there just to do a 1-minute fight. Now she's in jail. Mm-hmm. Think about what you do before you post it on the face of media. Because what's happening is the news are going on Facebook. They don't have to go out the streets no more. Just look on Facebook. Everything go viral. And hey, it is what it is. Until next week, they'll be back with another private topic. AM 1600 WM.